Green Bay Packers, a pretty good blocker and decent pass receiver. This time, the Packers faking a pass on one side, throwing a screen back to the short side of the field, bringing out their two linemen, number 75, Ken Rutgers and Billy Ard, leading that play, and Haddix getting behind that wall of blockers makes pretty good yardage. When you're talking about Michael Haddix and being proud of him, Tim, you know, his parents, when he was 8 years old, were killed in an all-will accident. We'll talk about that a little later, and here's what that's meant to him.
From the 40-yard line, Dilweg on first down has his man Kemp. And another Packer first down, quickly to the 22-yard line.
Again, Dilweg thinks that have things going for him right now, Tim. But talking about Michael Haddix and the experience when he was 8 years old, his parents were killed in an all-will accident on a Christmas day and hit by someone who was a drunken driver. So he's committed his life, really, basically to working with groups that help people in regards to drinking and not driving. He's been very active in the Green Bay area in that. And he says to Jesus, please listen, folks, if you're going to drink over the holiday, get somebody else who's not drinking to drive you home, because tragedy can result.
So the Packers with a first down at the 22-yard line, and Woodside diving inside the 20. It'll leave second down and about 7 for Green Bay. Ron Holmes and Carl Mecklenburg putting the stop on Woodside, the third-year man from Texas A&M.
You get the feeling that the Packers have picked up the tempo a little bit early in the game, Tim. They're determined to run the ball on first and second down. Now they're getting back to their old groove again of passing the ball. The Packers are basically a pass-oriented offense. When they throw the ball, they're very effective. And so far on this drive, starting from their 20 all the way down, it's been basically a pass-oriented type offense.
Woodside got 2 yards on the play. They spotted it at the 20, leaving second and 8. Green Bay. Elway from the shadows, intended for Woodside, overthrew everybody. It'll be third down and 8. That brings on Jeff Query, Charles Wilson, and Herman Fontenot offensively for Green Bay. And the Broncos respond with 3 defensive backs, along with an extra down lineman, David Galloway. Lilo Lang, Alton Montgomery. 2 of the backs who came in, along with Kip Corrington. Third down and 8. Dilweg finds Sterling Sharpe. Sharpe takes it in near the 5-yard line. Pounded on there by the safeties Smith and Atwater. Good recovery by Dilweg here.
Real good recovery, because the snapper, he has a little trouble handling the ball, Tim. Watch this. Bobbles a little bit, but he keeps his eye on the ball. This is a sort of like a delay pattern where the receiver on the outside delays a second or so before coming back inside on a slant. Sterling Sharpe comes in there before he's nailed by both Atwater and Smith. But, boy, I tell you, you run a pattern like that as a wide receiver, you know full well when you catch the ball, you're going to have quite a collision with those safeties.
In motion behind the ball. Darrell Thompson nowhere. Broncos drive him back, led by Cragen, the nose man, and Mecklenburg, the linebacker. Michael Brooks there with him. Loss of about a yard. Second and goal, now the ball at the 7-yard line. And we have reached the 2-minute warning here in the first half in Denver.
USC takes on Michigan State, the John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day.
Get away from it all in the new Explorer from Ford. If you're looking for 4 doors and more interior room than any vehicle in its class, if you want 4-liter power and push-button 4-wheel drive in the best-selling vehicle in its class, if the only thing you want to leave behind is the city, your Explorer is ready.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
There are those who thirst for something different. Something beyond the ordinary. For them, there is a beer that refreshes like no other. Michelob Dry. Once you've experienced its bold taste, with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
2 brave men sworn to save these refugees.
I will get you out of here.
State Department cannot do that.
Inspired by the events of a heroic rescue.
I just want my husband back.
Gerald McCraney, Michael Gross.
The plane will be here.
Vestige of Honor, tonight. Live from Texas to Times Square, you're invited to the first party of the year hosted by Melissa Manchester. It's CBS's Happy New Year America 1991 New Year's Eve.
Yes, that's ice indeed. Frozen yesterday. Some pipes broke here, as we told you earlier in the program, that they had a little problem with some pipes bursting in 7 below temperatures yesterday in some of the bathrooms here at Mile High Stadium. But it is quite a pleasant day today. 30 above. Green Bay threatening at the 8-yard line. Play action. Dilweg to the corner, and it is incomplete. Intended for Haddix. Did not hold on, and Ron Holmes had the charge on Dilweg.
I tell you though, Tim, the man to credit on that, though, is number 59, the linebacker Tim Lewis, because this is a very difficult play for a linebacker to pick up, fake run. You have to honor that and then pick up that back coming out of there as a pass receiver. Lucas did an excellent job not going for that run fake. Terrific defense.
Dilweg now 5 of 9 passing for 79 yards. He's got a 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line. Second-year man for Duke. Goes to the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. And it is tipped. Intended for an open receiver, Wilson. It was Randy Robbins who got a hand on it. That play was open.
Well, you always talk about this game being a game of inches, and this is what coaches mean by it. Tim Dilweg going inside, trying to catch his receiver on a crossing pattern. The ball is barely tipped, but tipped enough by Randy Robbins to cause an incomplete pass. And Jeff Query thought, oh my goodness, or Charlie Wilson thought it would have been 6.
Jacke will attempt the field goal from the 15-yard line. Bracken holding. And his 25-yard attempt is good. So we have a tie football game here in the first half of play at 6.
Subway bakes my bread up fresh, and that's my way. My way. I get a combo seafood club the best way. My way. Subway. My sub in front of me, just the way it ought to be. It's fresh, it's hot, I know I got it. My way. Subway. My way. Subway.
Take home a sub with lean Oscar Mayer ham or roast beef and be a hero.
Oh, do I need NyQuil? Pardon, this looks like NyQuil, but it isn't.
It was cheaper.
Well, but I start my new job tomorrow. What if I'm up all night sneezing and coughing?
You could try it.
But I'm this sick. I need NyQuil. Ask the pharmacist.
Why settle for anything less at night when more pharmacists recommend NyQuil?
Guess what he recommended?
NyQuil.
Oh, you're no fun.
Yes.
Once you know what NyQuil can do, nothing else will do.
Who needs dorm life that's way too formal? Who needs soda pop that tastes too low? Who cares about good taste? I know what tastes good. That's why the best things always so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Hey, give me a Dr. Pepper. We want it. Hey, whoa, Dr. Pepper. Dr. Order. The taste of sweet powder. We love it.
This is the play the Packers almost came up with. Dilweg having good protection from his offensive line up front, tries to hit Charlie Wilson on a crossing pattern, but number 48, Randy Robbins, does a terrific job of extending his body to knock that ball away. Big play.
Robbins was a safety, had to go out to the corner when Tyrone Braxton went down earlier in the season. He's done a good job. Jacke, who has just tied the game up, will kick it off. Kevin Clark and Blake Ezer are the deep men. That'll be Clark from near the goal line. Shakes off one tackler, and it's Charles Wilson pulling him down at the 18-yard line. Well, next Monday at 2:30 Eastern, CBS Sports coverage of college football continues with the John Hancock Bowl. Southern Cal takes on Michigan State in El Paso. That's tomorrow. And then New Year's Day at 1:30 Eastern, the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic. The Texas Longhorns and the Miami Hurricanes. That comes to you from Dallas in a game that will help decide the national championship. Number 3 ranked Texas, number 4 ranked Miami.
You just wonder where Notre Dame might come up in that national ranking too. They're playing Colorado, and you know who's going to be number 1 if they win that one.
Well, you know, there's not much doubt in my mind.
Oh, you're a Golden Domer all through. I know that.
I'm saying that right here in Denver too. The Buffs just up the road in Boulder. Elway. Elvin Bratton. Gain of about 8. 1:29 remaining first half. Mark Murphy on the tackle. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of CBS, the Broncos, and the NFL prohibited. Michael Young, first down, Denver to the 46-yard line. Tiger Green on the stop.
Well, Elway is quietly moving this team upfield. They at midfield now. That last completion to Michael Young. Again, the Packers in their prevent defense with 6 defensive backs in the field. Elway trying to find an opening somewhere in the zones. Finds Young, who hooks up inside in a deep hook right between the linebackers and deep backs for a big completion.
20-yard gain and a first down at the Denver 46. Lots of time left. 1:09 to go first half. Coming up at halftime, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw will have all of the scores, highlights, and latest information from around the league. The playoff picture coming right down to this final weekend, as everyone expected. The extra wild cards providing added interest to the NFL cities. And as usual, right down to the wire. So Greg and Terry will update you to the very moment. 1:09 to play here. First half at Mile High Stadium. Sewell on the screen. Packers played it beautifully. Scott Stephen made the stop. A loss of a couple.
Tim, it was almost like the Packers were in the Broncos huddle, because they ran a blitz and everybody was covered one-on-one, and Scott Stevens was responsible for the running back coming out, made the play.
Elway a deep drop. Sideline comeback intended for Jackson, incomplete. He wants an interference call against Jerry Holmes. None forthcoming.
Boy, Mark Jackson was yelling and screaming like crazy that Jerry Holmes grabbed him. Now take a look at this number 44. The defensive back cannot hold the receiver, and he does. He grabs him there, and Jackson wants a penalty, doesn't get it. So Holmes got away with one.
3rd and 12. 40 seconds left and counting down. Elway eludes Harris. Brock in pursuit. And he takes it out of bounds at the 45. Unhappily, not finding a man downfield. 31 seconds on the clock, and a Packer is down back near where they nearly caught Elway.
Well, it might be Tim Harris.
It is.
Tim Harris is the man that put the pressure on. Remember, he had a groin injury coming into this game. He's been hampered with injuries all year long. He hasn't been able to work out during the week. Matt Brock, number 62, putting heat on Elway, forcing him out of bounds. But with Tim Harris on the ground right now, I'm sure the Packers are really, really concerned, because he's been hampered with injuries all year long, Tim. As a matter of fact, Hank Bullough, the defensive coordinator for the Packers, was pretty outspoken this week about whether or not Tim Harris would get any better, because he hasn't been able to practice. He said you got to practice to get better, and Tim for the last 4 or 5 weeks has been nursing injuries during the week and only playing on Sunday, and right now he seems to be having a problem.
I think he collided with a teammate here that caused this injury. May have been Sean Patterson, and you can see them kind of feeling around his rib area there in his midsection.
Well, that's probably better than trying to fool around with the groin. You can see number 97, Tim Harris, on the left side of your screen, coming upfield, beats the offensive lineman, number 76, Ken Lanier. Now there he is, takes a swipe at Elway, misses, and you can see underneath
Patterson.
Sean Patterson is his teammate he ran into, and it looked like Patterson's helmet hit him right in the midsection.
So it may just be the old wind knocked out as we take a look at the scoring summary thus far in this game. Treadwell opened it on the opening series of the football game with a field goal. Packers went the other way, got a 37-yarder from Jacke, and then Treadwell in the second quarter for a 6-3 Denver lead, and Jacke right back to tie it at 6. Horan standing at his 30-yard line on 4th down. 31 seconds to play. And another fine kick from Mike Horan. Query lets it bounce into the end zone wisely. And Green Bay will have a final shot with 18 seconds to play in the first half. A 55-yard punt for the NFL's leading punter. Harris apparently all right.
Yeah, he's talking. He seems to be well under control. Well, I would guess that, as you said, Tim, he probably just had the wind knocked out of him when Patterson's helmet hit him in the midsection.
So Dilweg will have 18 seconds to try and make something good happen for the Packers from here. They send 2 receivers out to the left, Query and Sharpe, 2 out to the right, Wilson and Kemp. And they run it. Fontenot gets about 5. That gets it to the 15. And the Packers are going to say that's enough. We'll take the tie into the locker room. So at Mile High Stadium, we have reached the end of the first half in Denver, Colorado. And just field goals so far, accounting for all of the scoring, 2 for each team. On this surprisingly pleasant afternoon weather-wise in Denver, where the temperatures from 7 below yesterday today presented themselves at 30 above. And we'll return with the second half. Our coverage continues after this word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? McDonald's, you know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by United Airlines, serving over 200 cities in the U.S. and around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Today, more people than ever are getting a kick out of this hot shot. Interstate batteries hit the road fast with all the cranking power and reserve energy you need for even the worst curves in the weather. And Interstate has twice as many dealers than any other battery company in America, so you're never left stranded. For an Interstate battery dealer near you,
All you got to do, call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
Hey, don't touch anything. This is a science.
Ooh, salmon.
Salmon Douglas.
Do we get a little wine with this?
That's my department.
Oh, this is great, Carol. What is it?
Sauvignon Blanc.
It's good with salmon.
Who makes it? Gallo.
They're really something lately.
I like this.
Sauvignon Blanc. Whoa, aren't you going to wait for the salmon? We are.
Ernest and Julio Gallo present their 1988 Sauvignon Blanc. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
As the holidays approach, I'd like each of you to join the All-American campaign against drunk driving. Each year, over 20,000 lives are lost in alcohol-related crashes. Most of these tragic losses can be prevented. So this holiday season, be the life of the party. Be the designated driver.
So, what do you call it when your Better Buick dealers offer the best deals, the biggest factory cashback, and the lowest financing of the year? What else but, if you don't buy a new Buick right now, you gotta be crazy. Year-end clearance. Make your best deal on Buick, ranked the most trouble-free American car line. Then get factory cashback on selected models up to $3,000, or financing as low as 3.9%. But hurry to your Better Buick dealer before Monday, January 7th. If you don't, you gotta be, you know.
Welcome back to our studios here in New York, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. Those of you watching Green Bay and Denver will run down scores and highlights for you. And we'll begin at the Kingdome in Seattle, where the Seahawks are in search of a wild card spot in the AFC. They have just tied the Detroit Lions at 10-10 in the second quarter. And Chuck Knox, who has done a whale of a job coaching this year, he was happy to see Derek Fenner go up and over the top for a 1-yard touchdown. And Seattle had a 7-0 lead. But here comes Barry Sanders.
You always run a draw when you've got people that are thinking you're going to pass. You hand off and catch them by surprise. Seattle knew this was the Lions' best play. They still can't stop it. Sanders gets in for the touchdown.
The game has now gone to halftime, and Barry Sanders became the NFL's leading rusher on that run. It's 10-10, and the Seahawks now need a win and hope for a Houston loss tonight in order to make it into the playoffs. Now tonight at the Astrodome, the Oilers host Pittsburgh. The loser of this game is out of the playoffs. The Steelers win, they win the AFC Central. If Houston wins, they win the wild card spot, and the Cincinnati Bengals are the AFC Central Division champs. The Raiders are in search of the AFC Western Division crown, but they trail the Chargers by a score of 9-7. John Freese quarterbacking the Chargers. He has thrown a touchdown pass in this game, and the Chargers lead it by 2 at halftime. Halftime in the game you're watching in Denver, the Broncos and the Packers tied at 6, and the New York Jets are leading the Tampa Bay Bucks at halftime by a score of 13-7. The NFL Today continues here on CBS in just a moment.
I was just watching CBS Sports. You know they make me want to shout, kick my heels up and shout, throw my head back and shout, reach my hands up and shout, come on now. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody shout now, everybody shout now, everybody shout now, everybody shout now.
Now wait a minute!
You know they make me want to shout, kick my heels up and shout, throw my head back and shout, reach my hands back and shout, come on now, shout, hey, 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 everybody shout now, everybody shout now.
Middle, then what happens to the tight end? You see, there's no one for the tight end. So the tight end, he just runs a post. He just goes straight up the middle.
This is CBS. On the next Inside Edition, they were twin Playboy models. They met a millionaire who gave them money and gifts. Now they're in jail for tax crimes.
Regardless of how you get your money, if it was payment for services, you gotta report it.
Plus, your tax dollars may be paying for a city worker's life of leisure.
It's stealing. There's no other way around it.
Disabled workers at play. On the inside, it's a whole different story.
Monday night at 6:30 on Channel 8.
Together we're looking forward, anticipation's high. Anything can happen in the twinkling of an eye. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Moving out the old and bringing the new. As long as the new year finds us with you. Season's greetings from all of us. KBT Channel 8.
Parts? Yeah, I got parts. So what?
You won't get this kind of service at Catingers. You won't have to worry about tripping over any parts at Catingers. Catingers has a neat and clean waiting area for your comfort, as well as a computerized nationwide network to locate that hard-to-find part. At Catingers, you'll find an extensive selection of clean parts, plus save up to 50% or more off new part cost. Let Catingers' experienced staff help you find what you're looking for at an affordable price. Don't settle for this, when you can find what you really want at Catingers in Downing, Barron, and Red Wing, Minnesota.
Greg Gumbel, Terry Bradshaw back in New York with scores and highlights from the action earlier today. In Atlanta, Troy Aikman telling Babe Laufenberg how to do it, but it didn't happen. This is the second half kickoff, and Keith Jones had the advantage on a sloppy field.
Sloppy turf, catch that thing, take off. Every time you make a cut, somebody's going to fall down, and you kind of expect something like this today, but Cowboys just couldn't get anything going their side.
14-0 Atlanta at this point, and then Deion Sanders put the cap on it. Babe Laufenberg throws it up. Sanders with the interception, and watch him bring it back, look for a block. He'll get the block. He'll make the cutback. He'll make it all the way to the end zone, 61 yards. The Saints were celebrating in New Orleans. Leslie Visser talked with Babe Laufenberg after.
You're going to go home tomorrow night, obviously, and root for the Rams against the Saints. Do you feel at all haunted by Steve Walsh?
No, but I was hoping that I'd sit home and have a beer and cheer Steve on for about 500 yards. I told him that last Thursday, but obviously now I'm a Jim Everett fan.
If the Saints lose tomorrow night, Dallas goes to Chicago. If the Saints win, New Orleans is at Chicago in the playoffs. At Minnesota today, Steve Young brought them from behind, the Niners.
Hey, how about this? And what is the greatest route in all of football, Greg?
The crossing pass.
Exactly. Look at this. Taylor catches it over the middle, runs it in. 49ers whip up on the Vikings.
And both the Niners and the Giants have first-round byes. The Giants at New England today. Jeff Hostetler to Dave Meggett.
Hey, who's covering Meggett? A linebacker supposed to be there. He isn't. Meggett turns around. Hostetler pops in the ball.
Jason Starowski had a chance to tie it from 42 yards out, pulled it wide. The Giants by 3 over the New England Patriots, 13-10. At Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the Browns, Mike Pagel to Brian Brennan, 16 yards and a 14-14 tie with Cincinnati. But here comes Boomer.
Oh, Boomer's one of the very finest at play action. Look at this nice, beautiful pass. Wide open, nothing to it. Sloppy ball. Eric Ball gets into the end zone.
21-14 Bengals. Now, what the Bengals need is a loss by Pittsburgh to win the division or a Seattle loss for a wild card. At Miami, Dan Marino goes up top for Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith has been the running plug, the spark plug for the Miami Dolphins all year. Also coming out of the backfield, catching passes.
Miami will host the wild card, either Kansas City or the Raiders in the AFC. And at Washington, Mark Rippon, good day throwing the ball. This one to Stephen Hobbs.
Rippon, how about Rippon? Coming on and up and down. Which Redskin team is going to show up for the playoffs? That's what I want to know.
Well, this Redskin team goes to Philadelphia in the opening round, and the NFL Today continues in just a moment.
In time, all definitions must be revised. But when it came to redefining luxury, it wasn't a Webster, it was Oldsmobile, the all-new 98. Now you can have anti-lock brakes, fuel-efficient power, computerized suspension, technology found in cars costing thousands more, which by my definition could be the greatest luxury of all. And you can always take a Webster at his word.
This is the new 98, luxury redefined. Generation of Olds.
You've heard all about cold relief. Now you're going to hear about hot relief. New Tylenol Cold and Flu, with more medicine than any other hot liquid flu formula. Heat releases the power of this lemony medicine, with 3 cold and flu fighters for your coughing, sneezing, and congestion, plus Tylenol pain reliever for your fever, sore throat, aches, and pains. New Tylenol Cold and Flu, part of Tylenol's complete cold relief line. Nobody cares for your cold like Tylenol Cold.
Your resolutions for the new year.
Lose weight.
Help the environment.
And watch the bowl games on CBS Sports.
New Year's Eve day.
Michigan State hot out on a 5-game win streak with a double-barrel ground attack.
USC.
Armed for an air assault behind QB Todd Marinovich.
The John Hancock Bowl.
And New Year's Day.
2 teams gunning for the national title.
Number 4, Miami.
Number 3, Texas.
The Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic.
So pop the corks.
And kiss 1990 goodbye.
The bowl games on CBS Sports.
Happy New Year.
Wilson's a receiver.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. The Upjohn Company, if you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Super Bullet is the right beer now.
Denver, Colorado at halftime. Before today's game, they had a flyby in tribute to the servicemen and women from the state of Colorado serving in the Saudi area as Operation Desert Shield continues in these tremulous times. And the tribute paid here before the game today. 6-6 the score at halftime. We're back with live pictures now. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross, and 4 field goals have been the only scoring so far. And Irv, the offense is both moving the ball effectively until they got into that so-called red zone range inside the 20, and then having to settle for field goals. One of those coming out an opportunity after a fumble by Dilweg on a good hit by the Broncos set up a field goal, but then Dilweg had a great opportunity to send the Pack in front.
Yeah, right on the 5-yard line. He goes to Wilson, and Randy Robbins just makes an incredible play there for the Broncos to break it up. But you wonder, though, with Wilson and Sterling Sharpe both in the same area, if maybe one of those receivers might have run the wrong pattern.
It looked like Wilson was open, and Dilweg, had he perhaps lofted the ball a little more, would have prevented Robbins from tipping it. It would have been a Packer touchdown, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Fontenot brings it out to the 18-yard line. And the Packers will have the ball to open this second half. In the first half, you can see they were dead even in rushing yards. And Denver with an advantage in passing and also on the clock. 18 minutes to 11:58 for Green Bay. The only turnover, the fumble by Dilweg that led to a Treadwell field goal.
Not a whole lot of offensive production here, though, Tim. Both these clubs have got to get cranked up here in the second half.
So Green Bay from their own 18-yard line. Woodside. Fletcher made the stop out there, not giving him a chance to turn upfield. It'll be a gain of 2 for Green Bay, 2nd and 8. In that first half, Dilweg 5 of 10, Elway 9 of 19.
The key there, I think, Tim, is that Dilweg was able to move around the way he wanted. He's had that problem with the bad arch, but he didn't seem to be affected by it at all in the first half.
Passing at 51% as they back up to Don Mikowski, getting in the injury time. 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions coming into the game. Ed West, the tight end, he drops the ball. Denver has it at the 20 of Green Bay. Dennis Smith recovers it. Turnovers have been the plague of the Packers all year.
Time and time again, Tim, this has happened to Green Bay because Dennis Smith comes up with a recovery, but Ed West is a good blocking tight end. This time as a receiver here, picks up the ball and is hit by Simon Fletcher. The ball comes out of there, and there's a recovery by Dennis Smith. But Ed West, again, having a pretty good year as a receiver. He's good basically as a blocking tight end. Get that one up.
Humphrey stacked up after a gain of 3 in front of that Green Bay defense. Brown getting into it. The linebackers, Holland and Steven. 2nd down and 8, and Lindy Infante has just been looking at that kind of activity all season long. They are -10 in the turnover ratio for the season, as is Denver. They both hurt themselves badly all year. Humphrey blasts his way down to the 6-yard, make it the 11-yard line. Tiger Green and Mark Murphy are there to meet him.
Tim, great running backs have unique styles and things they do. Now, Bobby Humphrey is the kind of a back who really doesn't want anybody to touch him, and most great backs are like that. Watch how he uses his free hander as he comes outside. Bang! Knock off that potential tackler. All great backs do a pretty good job of using their free hand to use that to knock off potential tacklers. Humphrey coming upfield for good yardage.
The Broncos put Sammy Winder in for Humphrey as they approach scoring position. They love to see him get a touchdown. They go to Bratton. And Bratton, he bobbled the ball but fell down on top of it right at the 10-yard line. Met by Matt Brock and Bob Nelson.
This is really amazing. Both teams are very conscious of trying to hold on to the ball because their turnover ratio is so bad. But here comes Bratton inside. It's hit. The ball bounces out of his arm. Unfortunately, he falls back on top of it. But this is almost another turnover. Again, you can see Bratton giving it up. Number 54, Steven, the guy knocked it out of there. And Bratton was lucky enough to fall right back on the ball.
Close to the first down. They're measuring it. Bratton, who became the starter again today. They get the first down, taking that spot back from Kerry Porter. Bratton's been having a problem keeping his weight in trim over the course of this season, and a local reporter watched him at a recent party just last week, and he ordered the shrimp Alexander entree, 6 jumbo shrimp, $16.95 for an appetizer. The ladies' 24-ounce porterhouse steak for $27.95, and topped it off with a 3-pound lobster. So he's got nowhere to hold that ball, Irv. That's the problem.
Did he have dessert? There goes Humphrey.
Humphrey gets to the 5-yard line. No, as a matter of fact, he declined dessert, saying loudly enough for Coach Reeves, who was there, to hear, "I have a weight problem."
Oh, gee, I guess so. Bobby Humphrey again working to his left side. The defense's right side again. Watch how he maneuvers with that free hand. Trying to work off tackle, can't quite find it, and then just slips outside till he finds daylight. Now he comes upfield. Again for positive yards. That play was really designed to go off tackle. Couldn't find it, and he kept sliding outside until he found daylight.
2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Bennett in for Holland at linebacker for Green Bay. Humphrey, touchdown. Humphrey just waltzed down in there through a huge hole in the middle of the Green Bay defense.
Tim, a lot of teams call this play a Baltimore late because it's so prominent with the old Baltimore Colts. You see the back coming inside, has to follow that lead block from Mel Bratton, who does a pretty good job there, taking down the linebacker, and it's a real easy touchdown for Bobby Humphrey.
Well, Melvin Bratton may have been battling the bulge during the course of this season, but he applied his weight very well with a great block there for Humphrey, his teammate.
He was bulking up because he wanted to be a good lead blocker. He wanted that wait for that block.
Treadwell with a point after. And so Humphrey has the game's first touchdown from 5 yards out. And the Denver Broncos, on the strength of it, take a 13-6 lead.
It's Chevrolet Geo winter time, where everyone can win with the trucks more people are switching to. Sir, how many doors does this 4-door Chevy S10 Blazer have? 4. Close enough. You can win with cashback or low financing. And what's your favorite pickup? Chevy half-ton. It's America's favorite, too. And you can win with cashback on Chevy pickups, Astros, Suburbans. Wrap it up. I'll take it. You got it. Better get trucking to your Chevy Geo dealer during winter time.
New Year's, marked by time, remembrance, and that traditional toast with Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with a headache from bidding the year too fond a farewell. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition. The product. The proving grounds. The results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
I didn't want to be the first, but when I heard how many other guys had already tried Rogaine, I did too. Now I have only one regret. I just wish I'd tried Rogaine sooner.
For more information about Rogaine with minoxidil, see your doctor or call this number.
If you're wondering whether Rogaine is for you, call this number, and we'll give you an incentive to find out. A certificate worth $10 toward a consultation visit with your doctor. Call 1-800-556-4800.
In the tropics, there are 2 kinds of heat, love and danger. Sweating Bullets premieres Monday, January 21st on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
Bobby Humphrey's 5-yard touchdown has Denver on top 13-6. The fine-looking young player from Alabama, over 1,000 yards again this season. Treadwell kicks it off for the Broncos. Charles Wilson from in the end zone will not bring it out. Well, tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports coverage of college football continues with the John Hancock Bowl. Southern California and Michigan State from El Paso. And then New Year's Day at 1:30 Eastern, it'll be the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic. The Texas Longhorns ranked number 3, the Hurricanes of Miami number 4. In a game that will help decide the national championship. You'll see it here at 1:30 Eastern on CBS Sports. 20 yards and 5 plays after the fumble recovery by Smith. The fumble dropped by Ed West, the tight end, setting up that go-ahead touchdown. Dilweg sets up the screen to Haddix on first down. And he is met on the corner by Lucas. Picked up only about a yard.
This is really well played by the Denver defense, though, Tim. But one of the things your linebackers do is play outside plays pretty well. Dilweg going back has plenty of time to set this screen up, and it looks pretty good right here. We can see number 73, Simon Fletcher, lets him know that he's close by. But the key here, then, the key for the defense, though, is to contain everything. The outside linebackers for the Broncos do a pretty good job of keeping all that offensive flow in front of them.
Only a yard picked up as a result. Lucas's good work. 2nd and 9. Sterling Sharpe in motion. Dilweg just got it away to Sharpe, and Sharpe has the first down. Simon Fletcher with the rush on Dilweg. Dennis Smith with the rush on Sharpe after he caught it.
Simon Fletcher told me yesterday I would be stunned if one guy on this team didn't give all. Look at this guy. He's been on every play. Number 73. A lot of heat there again on Dilweg. Gets the ball away at the last second. And Sterling Sharpe does a smart thing with bad ribs. Step out of bounds with it, right?
Absolutely. Well, he's protecting those cracked ribs, and you can't blame him there when he can't go much farther upfield, and Smith, a hard hitter, had a beat on him.
Yeah.
First down, Green Bay. 31. Dilweg on play action. Harry Kemp. And Kemp has another Green Bay first down. He's driven back. But his forward progress should give him the first down near the 44-yard line. Steve Atwater wrapped him up. Well, Atlanta over Dallas earlier today. Now the Cowboys need help tomorrow night from the Rams over the Saints to get in. Cincinnati beating Cleveland. And they need developments from the Pittsburgh-Houston game and the Seattle-Detroit game underway. Giants over New England. San Francisco edging Minnesota. Hugely disappointing year for the Vikings. 49ers looking hot. Dilweg is sacked by Holmes at the 32-yard line. Dilweg and Bard seemed to bump together there as Dilweg was trying to set up.
Well, Tim, what happens here is that Dilweg has one of his offensive linemen pull to help him. Number 67, Billy Ard, is out there to help him as a lead blocker, but it frees Ron Holmes, who beats his man, comes through scot-free, does everything well. Get your hands up high, obstruct the quarterback's vision, and then sack him. Boy, terrific play. Oh, yeah.
Anthony Dilweg talked to us yesterday about the education this season has been, getting his chances to play when Mikowski was hurt. And as a second-year man, he feels that at least personally it's been a valuable year for him despite the Packers' record. Almost intercepted. Not a good throw from the man from Duke, intended for Fontenot. A diving attempt by Atwater. Check it, not Atwater. Lilo Lang, number 21.
Lilo Lang. Name sound kind of odd. Great story, Tim. His mother, when he was born, couldn't decide what his name should be, so she put a bunch of names in a hat. He has an uncle named Uncle Lee. She didn't want to call him Lee, so she called him Lilo. Put the names in the hat, shook up the hat, and pulled Lilo out of the hat. So his name is Lilo Lang. So some of the players around here were kidding him and said, look, you think Lilo sounds funny? His name could have been 6 and 7/8. Great kid.
Lilo. They like him, too.
Yeah.
He's Lee High in Dan Reeves' eyes at the moment.
Yeah.
Dilweg flush. Now looking for a man. Lets it fly downfield for Sharpe. He's got it. Touchdown. A flag down at the line of scrimmage. There is Mrs. Sharpe cheering on Shannon and Sterling today. And that time she gets a cheer for Sterling in the end zone. Warren Powers put a hit on Dilweg, and the penalty may be against Powers. Let's see. Either that or a hold against pass.
The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he took the ball. 5-yard penalty, loss of down.
Dilweg crossed the line of scrimmage. Sterling looks exactly like Mama, by the way.
Oh,
exactly. First time we saw that picture of Mrs. Sharpe.
The ball is spotted on the 35-yard line. Take a look and see where Dilweg's arm, or the ball is, once he throws the ball. Remember, a year ago, the Green Bay had a big play in Green Bay against the Chicago Bears where Mikowski rolled towards the inline to the line of scrimmage, threw the ball. At about 35-yard line, there's a line of scrimmage. Now he's approached it here. Is the ball away before he crosses the 30? No! Boy, he's over the 35. Clearly over the line of scrimmage. Illegal forward pass. Great call by the officials.
So the touchdown wiped out as we see Dilweg again letting it fly. Takes a tremendous shot from Powers as he releases the ball. And the touchdown wiped out, turns into a punt. Bracken from the 15-yard line. Kevin Clark waits for it at the 25. In the sun, he makes a good grab as it comes down at the 25-yard line, a 45-yard punt. 8:04 to go, third quarter.
Okay, everybody, listen up.
27 million Americans are illiterate. Albert Davis was one of them.
My dear family, for all these years, I have wanted to write about what you mean to me, but I could not write.
Look for this Coors Light display. Learn how you can help. Teach someone to read.
Today, I can read.
It's Chevrolet Geo winter time where everyone can win with a best-selling line of cars. Sir, what Chevy are you looking at?
This Lumina.
That you are, and you can win with cash back and no payments for 90 days. And Lumina, Caprice, APV. Miss, ever buy a new car before?
No.
Winner! You can win with a first-time buyer bonus on Cavalier, Beretta, or Corsica.
Ask me another one.
You too can be a winner, so hurry to your Chevy Geo dealer during winter time.
Okay. But just suppose another tornado rips up our Meadville plant. Then what? Or suppose we have a string of accidents, like we did in '86. Suppose I get sick again. Would another insurance company come through like the people from the Hartford? I doubt it. And after 14 years, this fella is not about to find out.
ITT Hartford. When you need us most, we're at our best.
He can't be seen.
You mean an invisible man?
He can't be stopped. As the Flash finally met his match Thursday.
Sterling Sharpe of Green Bay, Shannon Sharpe of Denver. And that was before the game today, the two brothers playing against each other for the first time ever. And Shannon, number 81, said probably his sister would root for him. She's here today. And his mom, Mary, probably would root for Sterling. Well, you saw Mom Mary rooting for Sterling on that touchdown pass from Dilweg that was called back.
So we're talking to Sterling Sharpe during the pregame warm-up. He says, yeah, my mom is here, but the whole family is sitting on the Denver Broncos sideline on the side of the field.
We saw her with pennants from each team in her hand. That one in and out of the hands of Jackson from Elway. A flag downfield. Jackson had a couple of drops last week against Seattle.
He said he wouldn't let that bother him, though, Tim. If it happened to him his rookie year, he might have been disturbed by it. But he's been around a long time, made a lot of big plays, and expects to make big plays.
There was no infraction on the play. There was only 11 men on defense. Second down.
Only 11, that's all you're supposed to have. You can have 11 or fewer, you can't have any more.
Well, I guess they must have thrown a flag thinking that there were 12 men on the field. I assume that's what Jerry Seaman is saying. That
what does he mean, only 11?
The flag was thrown and then picked up. Second and 10 from the 25-yard line. Jackson comes out left again, and Young goes to the right side. 13-6 Denver lead. Shannon Sharpe is on the field. They hand it to Humphrey. Humphrey gets about 3 yards. Packers read that well, and it was Tim Harris making the tackle.
I think the Packers read it well, Tim, because the play hit so fast, they really didn't have a chance to react to pass. I mean, it looked like run all the way. Even though we're in a passing formation, as soon as Humphrey came back to the other way, the defense reacted and called run and played it that way and played it real well.
A 4-yard pickup moves the ball to the 29-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
Tim Harris last night told us that he's in the last year of his contract, and February 1st he becomes a free agent, and he may be one of those Packer players who last year had all kinds of problems with contracts trying to get into camp. Could be a contract problem this year.
Unfortunately, his stats are nowhere near as good as they were a year ago. 7 sacks, 62 tackles coming into the game, and 19.5 sacks last year. There's a sack there on John Elway, and it is Tony Bennett, the #1 pick from Mississippi.
Tim, you'd have to call that a coverage side because Elway had plenty of time to deliver that ball. There was 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds it seemed. But watch this. His offensive line does a pretty good job of giving him time to set up the throw, but everybody's covered. Can't find an open receiver, so he waits and waits. Nothing happens, and here comes Tony Bennett. He makes a sack.
However, there is a defensive holding penalty against Green Bay.
Oh, boy.
36 defense, first down.
Leroy Butler.
Maybe that's why he couldn't find a receiver open. Butler was in the secondary holding somebody and was caught.
So it's a first down, Broncos at the 34-yard line of Denver. They lead 13-6. The only touchdown, accounting for the only Denver points so far in this second half. Bobby Humphrey's 5-yard run. Melvin Bratton gets about 5 yards on that carry out to the 39-yard line of the Broncos. Seattle on top of Detroit. The Seahawks with a victory trying to get into the playoffs. San Diego leading the Raiders 9-7. That helps the Kansas City Chiefs playoff picture. Jets on top of Tampa Bay 13-7. 2nd and 5 Denver from their 39-yard line. Shadows over most of the field here now at Mile High Stadium. Temperatures will drop accordingly. Elway to Mark Jackson. First down, Broncos. To the 49 of Green Bay. Tiger Green is there with the tackle.
Nicely designed pass, Tim. When the offense rolls, you'll see the defense react here. Elway, when he starts to go back and roll, you'll see the linebackers move along with him. Now that creates a hole right there. There's an alleyway he can use to drill the ball to his receiver there, Mark Jackson, who comes through on a hook pattern. Well-designed play, complete a pass.
First down, Denver, 48-yard line of Green Bay. Little draw play. Humphrey gets only about a yard. Mark Murphy came up from safety to make the tackle and got help there from Johnny Holland.
First down draw. Again, the Broncos are going in sort of a pass-oriented type of an attack here. On first down, instead of running a play with something off tackle or a sweep or something, they decided to run a draw action, simulate pass, and then run the ball. So they're trying to keep that defensive line off balance.
Gary Kubiak, number 8, warming up on the sidelines for Denver, maybe just trying to keep his hands warm down there, or perhaps Dan Reeves is planning on getting him in this final game. Elway, and that's complete to the tight end Kay, but a flag is down. Kay near the first down marker. Murphy on the tackle, number 37.
Offside, nose guard on the defense, penalty be declined, first down.
Penalty against the Packers. First down, Denver at the Green Bay 37-yard line now. We mentioned Seattle in the lead over Detroit at Seattle today. They can claim the 5th playoff berth in the AFC with a win over the Lions if Houston is the loser tonight to Pittsburgh. Had Cincinnati lost today, they would win with a victory over Detroit, but Cincinnati beat Cleveland.
Delay of game, offense, still first down.
Twice now the Broncos have taken delay of game penalties, Herb.
Well, there's a man responsible right there, number 7. The quarterback has to get that ball snapped in time, and he had plenty of time to get to the line and do that, but it's the second time today Elway has run out of time before the ball was snapped. And just shouldn't happen.
First and 15 now back out at the Green Bay 42 near the 43-yard line. Young goes wide right. Mark Jackson comes out to the left. Vance Johnson has not returned since suffering that calf injury back early in the first quarter. Play action fake to Humphrey. And that is complete to Chris Verhulst, the tight end number 86, getting his first catch of the day. And not much of a gain on the play. Well, the playoff schedule next week will look like this in the NFC. The Bears await what happens to the New Orleans Saints tomorrow night. If they beat the Rams, that's who the Bears will face at home. Washington will be at Philadelphia. The 49ers and Giants have the week off and await the winners of those two games. A little more complicated in the AFC, particularly in the Central Division. Second down, 14. Elway steps up nicely and lets it fly for Mark Jackson and overthrows everybody.
Yeah, the feeling John really forced that one, Tim, because Jackson was really well covered back there with both safeties. He didn't have much of a chance of completing that pass, and had the ball been thrown closer to the receiver, I think the defensive backs would have come up with it. Look at this again now. Elway stepping up in the pocket and just drills this thing and throws it nearly as far as he can. And you can see the safety's number 23, and you'll see the safety coming from the other side. Well, you don't see him coming to the other side. He ran through him, but both safeties are in great shape. Had the ball stayed in the field of play to pick it off.
Third down and 14. Elway rolls to his right and now finds Jackson and makes a nice catch. Despite having Butler wrapped around his leg, Jackson to the 15-yard line of Green Bay.
Tim, this is what Elway was telling us yesterday. I feel more comfortable rolling out of that pocket. I can buy time. You know, so many quarterbacks when they go down get hurt in the pocket. Now this is a designed rollout. He drops back on the straight back and then rolls to his right. Now Jackson is the primary receiver coming all the way across field, and Elway, once he gets outside of the defensive end, has lots of time to measure himself to make this throw.
First down at the 15-yard line of Green Bay. Deep drop from Elway, hits Jackson again. Touchdown. Well, the Packers were only one of 3 teams Elway has not thrown a touchdown pass against, and he has now erased that from the board with this strike to Jackson.
Mark Jackson on a crossing pattern. Again, the Packers going into a zone coverage, dropping him, letting a linebacker pick him up, and Elway hit him right between the linebackers and defensive backs for the touchdown.
A 15-yard pass from John Elway to Mark Jackson. Treadwell for the point after. And it is good. So the Denver Broncos now lead the Green Bay Packers 20-6. 2:10 left in the third quarter.
Even when the weather doesn't behave, Chevy Astro does. It offers the security of all-wheel drive and standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. The technology that's built into the Chevy Astro is designed to help you stay in control. What you put into Chevy Astro is up to you to control. More families are winning with
the heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tots, the premium choice.
Only one antiperspirant in the world helps keep you so dry with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. Only one deodorant in the world has so many odor-fighting ingredients with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. There's only one Old Spice.
Our dentist gave us a reason to switch toothpaste.
Baking soda. He recommended it for healthier teeth and gums.
In fact, 2 out of 3 dentists and hygienists recommend baking soda for healthier teeth and gums.
And only one major toothpaste has it. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the baking soda toothpaste from the baking soda experts.
And here's refreshing news for gel lovers. Now there's a baking soda gel with the cool taste of freshly picked mint. Wait till you taste new Arm & Hammer Dental Care Gel.
Pop the corks and kiss 1990 goodbye. Michigan State battles USC in the John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan with Irv Cross at Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos have taken a 20-6 lead on a 15-yard pass from Elway to Mark Jackson. 75 yards and 10 plays for the score. Wilson, the deep man, waiting for Treadwell's kickoff. Wilson from a yard deep. Over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Let's see that touchdown play again, Herb.
Let's see what Elway saw. You'll see number 95, Bryce Pulp, a rookie linebacker from Northern Iowa, was responsible for the hook coverage here in the zone. Now, watch Jackson when he comes across right to left of your screen. 95 has to come out of that hook area and get in there and prevent that play. Jackson beats him in there for the touchdown.
Mark Jackson, a couple of drops last week and one here earlier today, but comes up with a couple of big plays on that drive. 75 yards for the score. Dilweg up the middle, in and out of the hands of Sharpe, picked off. Wyman Henderson still going. Dilweg had the ball in the hands of Sterling Sharpe, but it came right through. And another turnover, 3 costly ones today for the Packers, and that has been the problem all season long.
Turnovers always hurt, Tim, but this one really hurts because it really was a completed pass. Sterling Sharpe had this ball in his hands, and then boom, got off a shoulder pad, and Wyman Henderson picks it off. Now, most teams have an interception return. Now, the Broncos will do that. They'll take that interceptor and lead him to the far sideline. Wyman Henderson picks up a good wall of blockers that are coming up inside, near the 10-yard line for the Broncos.
Gary Kubiak now at quarterback, replacing Elway. And they give us to Sammy Winder. Not much for him. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Harris making the initial contact. Gary Kubiak, the 8th-year backup from Texas A&M, drafted number 8 back in 1983 by the Broncos, has been a loyal and supportive number 2 behind John Elway.
But Tim, you know that when Elway talked about having more input in the offense, he was also talking about Kubiak. Now, both Elway and Kubiak meet with the coaches on Mondays and then on Fridays to go over the passing game plan. So these guys have a in-depth knowledge of the passing attack.
Inside handoff. That is Melvin Bratton getting to about the 6-yard line.
Without even knowing what the play is going to be, I think some way Dan Reeves would like to call some kind of a play where Sammy Winder will end up with the ball. Because he told us the other day, he said, I would love to see Sammy get in the end zone and do his Mississippi mud routine, because it'll be his last opportunity here as a Bronco, because he has announced his retirement. Oh, gee, he's coming off the field. Okay, it won't happen.
Steve Sewell has gone in offensively. Role player on these passing situations frequently as the running back who can catch the ball out of Oklahoma. And that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter with the score, Denver 20 and Green Bay 6.
It could be a fight for the national championship. The Mogul Cotton Bowl.
At McDonald's, we insist on it. For your good money, you'll find just one offering here. Good food. McDonald's. Always good food, always good value.
The bigger-than-ever 4-door Chevy S10 Blazer. Now America's best-loved sport utility vehicle gives you 4 doors and standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. The bigger-than-ever, better-than-ever 1991 4-door S10 Blazer. Open one up and see why more people are winning with. Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
Boy,
is Coors Light the official beer of the 90s? Let's count the reasons. 1, the Silver Bullet is the beer that won't slow you down. 2, it's brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water. 3, it's